Hey guys, welcome back to season 2 of the LAX podcast. I'm really excited for today's episode. I have a very, very special guest, and I think you guys are going to get so much out of this episode. I put together this podcast because I have been privileged to have so many different connections throughout different communities, mostly in the bleeding disorder community, but I have found through sharing my story on Instagram and just out in the public world that I have come across so many amazing individuals. And I want to share this connection with you guys today. I believe that perspective changes lives. It's changed my life. And I think today is a perspective that I have yet to discover. And I'm so excited to pick this guy's brain, understand what he has gone through, what he's going through, and how he's living the rest of his life. He was diagnosed with Huntington's disease at the age of 23. And typically the lifespan is about 10 to 20 years after diagnosis and showing symptoms. So, understanding that your time is limited can be a very, very scary thing. And I just want to know so much more about this man, what he is going through, and what his message is to the world. So stay tuned, guys. I think you're really going to get so much value out of this episode. And before we start this episode, I actually want to tell you guys, I just published my book. It is called Adversity Equals Opportunity, Finding Purpose Through the Pain. I will put a link in the bio for you guys to check that out. But it's not my whole life story, but it's definitely a snippet of my story as far as some of the things that I had to overcome living with severe hemophilia, some of the things I'm still battling, and ways that I found to overcome some of my adversities. So I think you'll love that book as well. Check it out. It's on Amazon. You can get it on ebook or paperback. So without further ado, guys, let's bring our guest on. Thanks for joining, man. I did some research on Huntington's disease, and man, there's just so much to learn. And then I know that everyone kind of has their own adversities and struggles with it. And
it affects everyone a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So why don't you, so is your last name pronounced Linze?
Yeah, it is. Yes,
Nick Linze? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're 41 right now. You were diagnosed when you were 23.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, why don't you, most of my audience that is going to be watching and listening, a lot of them suffer from, hemophilia, which is a bleeding disorder. But I'm starting to grow a bigger audience as well of other people who just really want to get a good perspective of what it's like to go through medical adversity, people's story, how they're overcoming it, stuff like that. So why don't you give my audience kind of an introduction in the way that you view, Huntington's disease, what it is to you in your life?
Well, so like I said, I was diagnosed when I was 23. My grandpa, he had it, and he was 44 whenever he got diagnosed with it. And, he started drinking a lot to cope with it. And my grandma kicked him out, so he moved in with us. And, we took care of him as long as we could. But, he started getting psychotic and stuff and started getting, too much to take care of, so we had to send him to the nursing home. And the nursing home couldn't take care of him no more. So then he ended up in the mental hospital because that was the only place that would take him.
Yeah.
And he ended up in there with his twin brother, actually. And,
his brother had it as well.
Yeah. His brother. Yep. Yeah, and towards the end, he couldn't walk. He would lose his balance when he tried to stand up and stuff.
Yeah.
And
when was he diagnosed? Do you know?
He was diagnosed when he was 44.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's is that kind of late?
No, that's about average, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, about 40 or so, 44. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was kind of psychotic, and he didn't know who we were, when we go visit him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to live in there. That was no place to live. So they came up with the Suicide Pact, and but that's no place to really live, you know what I'm saying? And they're not themselves, and they know they're never getting out. There's no cure for it, you know.
Yeah.
So
So
you know,
did you always know that you had a possibility of getting the disease yourself?
um, no, not really. Not when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know that I would get it, but as I got a little bit older, you know what I'm saying, in my teenage years, in my later
Yeah.
teenage years, then I started finding out, that it's hereditary.
Yeah.
And my dad has it too. And my dad was diagnosed pretty late in life.
Oh,
He
really?
was about 4 years ago. His speech is real hard to understand. He mumbles a lot. I have to
Yeah.
text. Yeah, I have to text him to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, he shakes real bad. But other than that, he's in pretty good spirits. You know what I'm saying?
Really? That's good.
Mentally, he seems to be, all there. Now my stepmom moved out, because she couldn't put up with him. And his personality changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that. But she lives
Yeah.
with him every day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I heard that like, Huntington's like wasn't really even like figured out until like the early 1990s as far as like, hey, there's this like specific like marker that shows
Right.
whether or not you're going to be affected.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think about 50% of the people, that I think you have like about a 50% chance.
Of passing it on.
Kids.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm kind of glad I didn't have kids. I would,
Mm.
I want to, take that risk. I don't know.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Nick before the diagnosis. Who were you? What kind of person were you? What kind of things did you enjoy doing? What was life like for you?
Um, I like going out and partying and stuff. You know, uh, I was working at Red Lobster as a waiter. You
Okay.
know, I just enrolled in a Linze for heavy machinery operator school, and then I took classes there for about a month, and then I got diagnosed. So I stopped taking those. And but then, but when I got diagnosed, the doctor told me that, I had 5 to 10 years, so we didn't really think, I'm saying it was smart to continue,
Yeah.
so I never really, went and got, real education or nothing like that.
Really.
Yeah, which I kind of, regret.
So like what do you like when you first found out about your diagnosis, like how did that affect you? How did that hit you? Like was there a time frame that you just had to really spend coping with the fact that you just got that kind of a news, like that kind of news?
Yeah, I was pretty depressed with it. I started, looking for ways to escape, and started, get dabbling in drugs and stuff, which, I would really, really recommend don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not the path, to go down, especially opiates and that type of drugs. Stick with weed, or, mushrooms or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't go down that path.
Yeah. You like so like right now, are there drugs that like you think actually like help people that are going through, this certain disorders and
I think
diseases?
the mushrooms do. I think the pot probably helped me a little bit.
Pot does. Pot does.
Yeah.
What about mushrooms? I've heard I feel like mushrooms are kind of like up and coming. Like it's
Yeah. There's been a lot of
like micro dosing and stuff on it.
and they've had real good results with the microdosing and stuff like that. Making the symptoms less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like your rate, where you do this, improves.
Mm.
There's some weird tests that they do.
Yeah.
See your competency, with
Yeah.
tapping nerves and stuff. But you're supposed to, get better, with the mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. And you I know you're a big like motorcycle rider. You like I mean, and you used to play the guitar a lot because I went to your house and I saw guitars
Yeah.
everywhere. So how did tell me about that? Are you still able to enjoy doing those things?
No, I'm not able to play guitar anymore. I have trouble getting my fingers to move like I used to. The Huntington's disease is kind of like a cross between Parkinson's and Alzheimer's.
Okay.
You know, the simplest way, to describe it. But yeah, I have trouble like moving my hands and stuff like that, and I have trouble like remembering, how the songs went and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So where are you in your stage right now with HD? Like, do you feel like you, I mean, can you tell a big difference right now with a lot of, like, what are the big differences that you see?
Yeah,
You
I'm
struggle with?
definitely progressing with my movements and stuff like that. I'm definitely starting to move around a lot more.
Hmm.
Yeah, I went on a date the other day and this girl accused me of being on meth.
No, really? So you
Yeah.
got to tell me about that, man. Like when you go on dates and stuff or meet girls, like, do you not give them a heads up on that you have HD?
Yeah, I really should, at this point,
Yeah.
but
No, it's
yeah,
funny. I get it in a way because I don't tell people either.
And a lot of times, what I'm saying, we're like trying to date the girl, what I'm saying, it's a deal killer, and you tell her,
Yeah.
you, you got this and, you're on disability and stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Dang,
but,
man. So
but
that,
just hang in there, what I'm saying, so it gets better.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm guessing, like, what about employment and stuff like that right now? Like, is it hard? I mean, are you working? Is it hard to do?
Um, yeah, it's hard to remember stuff. My last job had, I got fired from because I couldn't remember stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I just forget like simple little stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you seem like someone who probably doesn't like to play like the whole, like, you know, feel sorry for yourself, like poor me, or telling people I've got a disability
Yeah,
type
yeah, I don't
thing.
tell a lot of people, but I'm gonna start telling more people. I think it's good to be more open.
Yeah.
I think people understand me too, a little bit better, what I'm saying, if I'm more open, because I'm kind of, socially awkward too. And I didn't used to be like that, but
Yeah.
somehow personality changed, somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but
I can totally relate to that. I know that there was a big, I would say more than half of my life where I didn't tell anybody about anything, any battles I was going through. I kept everything on the inside. I didn't want to feel isolated or really different from
yeah,
people, but I was. And socially, I mean, even I feel like even when you try to hide it, it still shows, but people don't necessarily know what's going on.
mhm.
But like, I mean, I know that when I met you, I didn't know, I knew that you were battling something, but I didn't really
Yeah.
know the extent.
I only told like I really only opened up to like two girls, what I'm saying, about what I, was really going through, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Uh, it's kind of weird. I need to be more open.
So tell me about I want to know about you mentioned your grandfather and his twin brother. They had like the suicide pact.
Hmm.
What was that all about?
They stopped eating. Yeah, they just didn't want to be in there no more. They knew they were never going to get out.
Really?
So yeah,
So did they follow through with that?
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, they did. Wow.
yep, yeah. They died a few days apart.
It's so
That's
crazy to me.
48 years old.
No way. Wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gathering is like when people have this disease, it's almost like you have a mindset of like, I'm going to go out in any way possible, but I'm not going out. I'm going to go out on my terms.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to go out.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to. I'm going to take one last ride on my motorcycle, and that's going to be it.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know when that time comes? Like, when is that time?
It's going to be hard, you know what I'm saying? But, it's definitely going to be a hard, decision to make.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
but
they
yeah,
said,
but I don't want to sit. I don't want to be in the boat. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be to the point, where somebody's taking care of me. And
yeah.
I don't want people to remember me like that.
Yeah, man, that's I mean, I mean, they say the average lifespan's what, 10 to 20 years. And I mean, you're already pretty far in, right? As far as when you were diagnosed.
Yeah, it's for 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm almost double that, the maximum deal.
So how do you look at like the future and stuff like right now? I mean, are you even able, like, do you even like, do you, I mean, I'm asking because I'm trying to figure out the words to say because I found myself in a position when I was diagnosed with hepatitis C.
Mm.
Um, I was diagnosed when I was pretty young because I got contaminated medication, and so when I injected myself with the medication, and the medication gave me Hep C, and
Oh, yeah.
as I got older, it destroyed my liver, and they were saying that I was close to a liver transplant. And
Mm.
so that really scared me. And I started doing research and I started to understand that even when you get a liver transplant, you don't really live that much past that. And there's just so many complications.
Right.
And I started to really think that my time was limited, and maybe it still is. And I just got to the point where I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And I started living life that way. And I stopped living in a way that I do think that I was doing things to plan for a future because I
Right.
didn't see that for myself. I didn't see what it would be like for me. Like, I don't know what it would be like to like save money, for the
Right.
future, or like think that I was going to retire, plan for a family and stuff like that. So like, is that the same way for you? Like, you just take
Yeah.
every day at a
I don't
time?
think about stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't really worry about it. I just, try to be happy day by day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are your days on a normal basis? Do you feel like you're more like grateful for each and every single day that you get, or is it more like this, like you wake up and you're like, man, this today's gonna suck, today's gonna be hard, like, where are you currently at with your mindset?
I'm in a mixture, to be honest with you. Some days, I'm okay. I'm saying other days I'm a little bit down. But most days, I'm okay with it. And upbeat.
Yeah, do you think it gives you a unique perspective that other people will never have?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, for me, I know, like, I've it took me a really long time because I went through phases too, and I for the longest time I just hated my life, and I woke up every day and it was like every day was so hard because I knew I was going to have to deal with pain, and
Yeah.
it was going to be a mental struggle, physical struggle, and
Right.
there was days I didn't want to get out of bed, and I mean, I just really had to make a turn mentally because I just
Mm.
wasn't living a fulfilling life, and it pissed me off. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not happy. But then at the same time, I was like, well, this disorder, I can't let this disorder keep on dictating and writing my story.
Right. Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, it was just so hard, such a hard conflict.
Yeah. I definitely need to get out and start living more for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that, I think it's a very hard thing to do. And I'm not even in your position. And that's why I really wanted to talk to you even more and kind of pick your brain, because I feel like there's my situation. And then I feel like you're even a step further. Like, I mean, you're on a whole nother level of like having to deal with an adversity that seems so hard to overcome.
Yeah. You're going through a lot too, though. You know what I'm saying? Really feel for what you're going through too.
Yeah. And what's crazy for me is like, man, like, honestly, the things that I do now, I do because I don't feel like I'm going to live that long. Like, I don't know what my time frame is, but I'm living it like, I mean, there's so many things that people don't know what I do, but I live my life pretty hard, like I live almost kind of not, it's almost like a borderline reckless, but kind of controlled a little bit too. But man, I live every day.
Yeah, you want to enjoy the time you got left. You know what I'm saying? Make the most of it for sure.
Yeah.
Like live it like it's every day. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing that like I wanted the audience to understand and maybe get like if they, because some people will never hit that point, right? They'll just always live their life and never have these kinds of adversities besides maybe general life adversities like, normal stuff like finances or whatever.
Breaking down. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that if people can maybe just understand us a little bit more what we're going through and put themselves in our shoes, that maybe they can look at their life and be a little bit more thankful and grateful for the opportunities that they have.
For sure.
So man, tell me about like your diet right now, because when I saw you, you had a bag of food. So like why do you have a bag of food with you? What are you eating? Like what's going
on? For some reason I have trouble eating like regular food. So I'm always drinking like my calories. So I always have like, some drinks with me or something.
Yeah.
Some boost or something to drink. But yeah, and then I get like a headache from that, like not eating, and I don't know. So I like to have like some snacks around, but I have them around, but then I don't eat them.
Really?
But I'll take a couple bites and they just won't taste good to me. And I'll just spit it out. I do that with like hamburgers and stuff too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for some reason my taste buds are just really picky.
Yeah.
So it's like I just force myself to just drink most of my calories. It's probably not the best diet,
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah. So are you like, do you find yourself losing weight, like quite a bit of weight? Or
yeah, if I don't drink weight gainer.
Yeah.
For sure.
What kind of like treatment do they like if someone is diagnosed with Huntington's disease, what is a treatment for today's day and age for that?
There really is no treatment for the disease itself. There's some testings they're doing over in Europe. It's supposed to stop the progression of it, but they haven't approved it here. Okay. But they're having results with it. I think it's in Germany.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having good results with that, but they haven't approved it here, and I just don't think it'll be approved, what I'm saying, in time for me. So I don't know. I haven't asked about it in probably a year, but I go see my neurologist about every 6 months or so.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like, I know we talked about like your activities and things that you like and enjoy to do, but do you have like a bucket list of things that like, hey, I want to do this before my time here on Earth is done?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Any part of anything that you want to share? Any part of it, or you just kind of have your own like little like?
No, I just got a little deal.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, I'm cool with that. I was just curious, on if you've actually created that for yourself and like where you're like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do to live my life.
Yeah. There's definitely some things on it.
Nice. That's awesome. Are you scared of death? How do you view death? And do you believe in any kind of afterlife?
Shit, I'd like to think there's a better place out there, but I'm hoping there is, but I'm not, counting on it, but I'm not really scared of dying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just scared, it'll be hard, to see everybody for the last time and everything. That'll be the hardest. Just saying goodbye to everybody here. I have a sister here, and my parents are both here, and my grandparents are here. My grandmas are here.
Yeah. Are they all pretty supportive of what you're going through?
Oh yeah. They're real good.
That's awesome. I'm glad you have that support system.
Yeah, really.
What do you wish like others knew as far as like how to like treat you and how to be around you and stuff? Because I know it is different for you. Is there anything that you wish other people knew?
People, it's like I have trouble thinking of things to say.
Yeah.
I don't know, just approach me, you know what I'm saying? I'm always down to talk to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I noticed with you too, was once you started talking a little bit, everything. But I think I think people are tentative. I know I was tentative because I didn't know to the degree on what you were going through.
Yeah.
But then once I understood you a little bit more, your story, then everything became so much different. And then I really started to
Yeah.
get to know you a little bit better, which was really cool.
Yeah. Some reason I have like trouble making small talk now. I don't know why it is.
Really?
It's kind
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it could be like an insecurity or something because I know that whenever you did start talking, and then when we started partying, when we were hanging out, I was like, oh shit, we're having fun now. Like, this is cool. Like, it was really fun.
yeah, we had a good time for sure.
Yeah, man. We'll have to hang out again. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there like a final message to the world that you would leave behind? That something that, I mean, it doesn't have to be to anyone in particular, but just a final message. This,
Be more open.
what's
Be more
that?
open, honest with people.
Be more open and honest.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Biggest thing.
But man, I appreciate you, and I see what you're going through, and thanks for coming on here and kind of sharing your message.